Hey, good morning, guys. Wayne here. It is February 19th, and we had a trip planned to go back to Saginaw Bay to try our hand at doing some walleye fishing again, ice fishing. And it's 11 degrees out, and it's blowing like crazy. We've had warm weather here this past week in Michigan. We got 4 to 6 inches of snow the other day, or a couple days ago. Anyway, so the bay is kind of iffy, the ice conditions, and I'm a rookie out there. I think I told you in the first video, and I guess I'm just taking the side of just being wise today and not knowing the bay and how it behaves all the time with the shifting, the cracks opening, and we've had really, really strong winds, and so I opted to not go today. One of the things I thought I would do, I'm just going for a drive, and nice sunny morning. I saw a rainbow when I pulled out of the house, an actual wintertime rainbow. First time I've ever seen that. I thought it was totally cool. But anyways, so I thought I would just take a few minutes to just kind of tell you how I got started in the outdoors, hunting and fishing, and just a little bit about myself. I think sometimes we're so wanting to do videos that, see the fish catches and the big deer shot and all that, but at the end of the day, I think it's good to kind of get to know who the guy is who's doing the videos. But anyway, so I thought I would do that as I'm driving, and if you haven't liked our page or subscribed yet, it's Macklin Outdoors on YouTube, and we'd appreciate it. So we've had some, we've only put one video out, and we've had some really great response, kind of shocking. But anyways, so just a little bit about myself. I'm 53 years old. I am married. I have 4 children. I have 3 grandsons. It's amazing. Your parents tell you or that as you're growing up, wait till you have grandchildren. There's something so special about them, and there really truly is. They're from the Lord, 100%. And they're 4 years old and under, so their parents, my children, are having lots of fun at this age. But I heard one guy say, yeah, grandkids are the revenge for you raising your children, and I don't fully. It's cute saying, but it's not. I know it's hard, so to my older children, you guys are doing awesome. Stay the course. They're going to turn out to be some great human beings. Anyways, so yeah, I'm like I said, I'm 53 years old. I'm married, 4 kids, 3 grandbabies. I own a heating and cooling company called Macklin Heating and Cooling in Linden, Michigan, and own that for almost 2010 is when we started. So 12 years now, and I've been in the outdoors. I mean, I've been hunting and fishing, mostly fishing, since probably 5-6 years old. One of the other things I have to mention, I'm a born again, blood bought believer in Jesus Christ. First and foremost, my faith in Him is first and foremost. All this outdoor stuff is a lot of fun. It's exhilarating at times. It's crazy fun, and it's neat to enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I believe God has created this earth, and He told us to take dominion over it. So we like to pray that as we go fishing, and we don't always take dominion over the fish or the animals, but anyways, so one thing I was reading a little bit this morning in the Gospel of John in chapter 15. Jesus was speaking to the disciples, and He was making an analogy that He's the vine and they were the branches. What He said is, apart from Me, you can do nothing. And I exemplify that in my life. I truly believe that without the Lord, my life would have been shipwrecked a long time ago. It is only by His grace that He has saved me and directed my path. Proverbs says that in a man's heart he plans his ways, but the Lord directs his steps. And truly believe the Lord's leading us to do this YouTube channel. Feel completely not qualified to do this. We don't have the high dollar technology. I'm doing it with my 11-year-old son, Jaden. So he's doing all the video editing. So this is not behind the scenes. There's not a pile of money that is supporting us and all that. Listen, we are doing this. We're trying to keep the cost down as much as possible. And part of my message or what I want to show with our YouTube channel is that, you know, you don't have to spend a gazillion dollars to, you know, do this outdoor stuff. I mean, like just my ice fishing stuff that I've outfitted myself with this last year, I really tried to get good quality, but I also didn't, you know, I'm not going to spend $400 on an ice fishing rod and reel. It's just not going to happen. I don't believe that that's wise for me. Other guys, you know, I have bass equipment I've spent a lot of money on. I have a bass boat that's expensive. So there's just things, you know, that we choose to spend our money on in high quality. I will say this, as you get better and become more skilled in the outdoors, I absolutely believe that the higher end equipment, the better quality, more expensive, you get what you pay for type stuff, equipment does make you that much better, no doubt about it. So I don't want to downgrade high quality stuff either. But anyway, so I want you to know this too about me is that, you know, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I grew up. My dad was a HVAC guy. You know, he worked in the trade, the union for quite a while, and I think somewhere in the late 70s. He started his own HVAC company, and he worked really hard. I mean, a lot of times after dinner, he would go out in the barn and bend sheet metal up for the next day. So there wasn't this, you know, I'm not a trust fund baby at all. I pretty much have had to work for everything that I have. I'm not a self-made man. I don't believe there's no such thing as a self-made man or, you know, outdoorsman. We've all had help along the way. I certainly have. But I tend to be that guy that needs to do it on his own. I'm not one that really solicits a ton of help, especially, you know, waypoints and all that stuff and where to go, how to do it, exactly how to do it, what to use, what to throw, when. I believe that, again, this is just my opinion, I believe we become better fishermen and better hunters when we get out there and do it ourselves. There's something about the learning curve. You can't shortcut the experience in the field or on the water. And so I just kind of, that's what we're kind of documenting with this YouTube channel is typically don't have a ton of information help. I do have a few guys I talk to, trusted friends, but again, I tend to be that guy that needs to get out there and figure it out myself. So if anybody you can relate to that, that's kind of my style. But you know how I got started fishing? My grandpa, a little Sicilian grandpa, lived in Milford. He loved to catch crappies under the bridge at Commerce Road and Lake Sherwood. There was the lake, and he would go out at night with a light, and the crappies would come under the bridge and come to the light. He would catch me. He only used one bait. He called them pinkies. I'm sure there was a trade or a manufacturer or something. But he basically would use just a little lead head jig that was bright pink with probably some deer hair, white deer hair or something tied to it. I don't remember him ever using live bait. I could be wrong, but anyways, he would go out at night, and we lived real close when we were young. So every once in a while, I got the reward of going crappie fishing with my Papa Sam, is who he was, and anyway, so that kind of got me going, and then at about 8-9 years old, my dad, one of his best friends growing up, Louis Malone, and Frank and the Malones, I hope maybe you watch this, but him and my Uncle Louis would go pike fishing on the weekends, and they were live bait, religious about their chubs that they, sucker minnows that they use. They had to be the proper size. They got them from, the old Mitchell's Bait Shop, I think, on White Lake. But anyways, and they would go out and put these chubs under a big giant bobber, and we rarely got to go with them, any of us kids. And one time I got to go with them, and it was a little offshoot of Lake Sherwood, I think. And anyways, we're sitting there, and so they would throw those chubs out and just sit and chat or whatever. And when I'm 8 years old, I could care less what they were saying, but I was just happy to be outside and hanging with my two heroes. My dad and my Uncle Louie, great hockey players. They coached us, coming up through the ranks as hockey players. But these two men were just these men. Their hands were. I remember looking at both their hands. My Uncle Louie was a concrete guy, so I mean, just these were masculine men. These were not flashy men. So when I would get around those two, I didn't do a lot of talking. Well, us boys, we kind of knew we were in the presence of some real men, and you're not going to be. It's not like it is today. There wasn't much smack talk going on from my end. But anyways, make long story short, they would throw these out, and then they would just click their bail, open their bail on their big spinning outfits, and wait for the bobber to go down. Well, I remember I'm sitting there, and I was in the middle, and it was just a little 10, 12-foot rowboat, and these two men were big men, so it floated. It was safe to a point, but I remember my dad's bobber going down, and he's not doing anything. And I've actually told this story a couple times on a podcast, but and he's not doing anything. And I'm thinking, that bobber's down. That fish has got that thing in its mouth. I mean, it doesn't have hands or arms. I mean, jack that thing, set that hook and get it in. He's letting it go and go and go, and obviously they knew what to do. He let it go. All of a sudden, he clicked the bail over and set the hook on it, and he reared back on it, and I looked out there and I saw the biggest largemouth. So it wasn't a pike that he caught. It was a largemouth that was probably 5-6 pounds. And this thing's jumping all over the place, and my dad and my Uncle Louie were not excited at all. Like they were kind of bummed that it wasn't a pike, because they were catching big pike. These guys knew what they were doing. So when they would catch anything else than a pike, I think it was just more of a trash fish. Well, my dad, gets it reeled in, flops it in the bottom of the boat, and I remember to this day, and I think honestly that's why I just have this bent towards bass, and bass fishing. I remember looking at that fish, and they were just going to throw it back, and I thought that fish was the coolest fish ever. I mean, it was this long, this big around, and I just thought it was just awesome. And so I actually, my dad was going to throw it back, and I said, hey, we should take that home and mount it. And my dad did. I couldn't believe it. He actually took it home, had it mounted, and back then it was just a skin mount, But that bass hung over the top in our house for many, many years. I don't know if it survived us boys. We were 3 boys and a sister. Growing up, we were pretty active, so I know things got broke. But I don't remember it surviving a whole lot, that mount. But anyway, so that's what got me going. And I just, I lived in Heartland, grew up in Heartland. When it was, we were 12 years old, I was able to hunt and start rabbit hunting and bird hunting. Pheasant. There were good amounts of pheasant all around. I used to be able to hunt from Dunham Road, you Heartland people, from Dunham Road north all the way to Hibner Road. Never had to ask for permission. There weren't as many houses, but people would just wave to us as we were going by, and so we bird hunted, deer hunted, all that through there. So that's what really got me. I did a lot of it myself. My dad had, when he, his business really started to grow, and probably shouldn't have been out there when I was 12 years old by myself hunting, or with a couple neighborhood boys, but I want to indict myself here, but anyways, my dad got real busy, so he did not hunt and fish as much with his business growing. So I really did it a lot myself, and the fishing aspect, Bullard Lake in Heartland. I mean, I grew up, after the Lake Sherwood, as we started to move out to Bullard to Heartland, got able to do things on my own. I started fishing on Bullard Lake. and I just had a passion for it. I mean, it was hard. You know, us boys, there's 3 or 4 boys in the neighborhood, and they like to fish. But it was kind of like I would go and you know, after an hour or so, if we weren't catching anything, you know, they would want to go home. I'd drop them back off at shore, and I'd go back out the whole day. So I really cut my teeth on that little lake. Had one bass over 7 pounds. Biggest pike out there, I think, was 21 pounds, 42 inches. You know, speared pike, tip ups, you know, panfish through the ice. Had a couple buddies that lived over in the Bullard sub that we used to ice fish, and man, it was just great times growing up. Simple times, but that's where I cut my teeth on the outdoors. So my dad, we didn't go on, you know, big hunting trips. My first deer I killed with a bow was a 4-corn, I think it was, or maybe a 5-point. I mean, that thing was as big as any 180 class whitetail today. My dad never set us up to do something, you know, big trophy, anything. It was listen, you know, you eat what you kill and what you catch, and just that's how he supported us. He didn't buy us a bunch of expensive equipment. I mean, if I had extra money, he would always, you know, he would do halvesies with me. You know, if I wanted to buy something, he would say, hey, you know, you come up with half of it, then I'll pitch in the other half. But anyways, and then real quick, I'm trying to wind this down, but and then in my mid-20s, I actually played football, hockey, and baseball in high school. One of my football coaches, Paul Rambo, I hope you watch this, was one of my coaches, and he was a state police officer at the time, and he was big into hunting and fishing, and so we got to hang out some, and you know, over the years we've become great friends. But Paul, it seemed like when I was in my early to mid-20s, Paul was fishing I believe the Bassmaster Invitationals, you know, professional bass tournaments, and asked me to if we wanted to fish at the Wonderland Open, which was a big team tournament open, and I said yeah. Well, we ended up, I think, coming in second. I think we either won $3,000, somewhere around there, $2 to $3,000, and we split it, and I was just like, ooh, that, you know, that was really my first, you know, experience with tournament fishing, and I was just like, wow, this is winning money to catch bass. Not a bad haul for, you know, 8 hours of work. So that gave me the tournament bug. I mean, I always watched Bassmasters and stuff when I was little, but you know, those guys just seemed bigger than life, and you know, I just never thought I could ever do it. Well, that started the journey of, you know, buying a bass boat, and you know, joining the club, Michigan Bassmasters, and I think I fished as a co-angler for 1 or 2 years. I really wasn't a good co-angler. I'm a little headstrong, so I kind of like to, I told you at the beginning of it, I like to figure stuff out myself. So a bunch of great guys. I mean, honestly, that really gave me the bug to try to move up, you know, in advance in my tournament experience and that tournament career. And then, you know, I've been fishing tournaments, some professional level stuff in the South, mostly local professional stuff, the MLF Bass Fishing League stuff here, Michigan Division. I fish as a boater. I've been doing that for years. And this past year, my buddy John DeVries and I, he's my team tournament partner. He's my brother from another mother. We decided to fish the Fishers of Men National Team Trail, and we qualified. Had a good year. Qualified out of the Indiana North Division of the Fishers of Men, and went to the divisional out of Lake Erie in the fall. Came in second. Did well there, which qualified us to go to Lake Eufaula, Alabama here in the next couple weeks. Early March is when that team, the national championship event, goes off. So super excited about that. Just starting to get my stuff rounded up for that, and I'm going to be heading down south here out of this super cold weather here, and I'll document. I'll be doing some videos there. But anyways, that's just a little bit about me. Crossing the Zilwaukee Bridge actually right now. Thought I would just drive up here to Frank's and get a couple things I need, but I don't see anybody north of of the bridge. So anyways, it's connected to the Saginaw Bay. But anyways, thanks for listening. I know this isn't a fish catching fun video, but I just felt the need to just kind of share a little bit of my heart, who I am, what I grew up and how I grew up and where. And again, this channel is, I really want to show guys and teach guys, and I'm learning along the way. I'm going to be as transparent as, maybe a little too transparent sometimes, but there are so many things, because I stayed really within that bass realm for so many years. Now that I get older, I'm seeing all these other experiences that you know, and adventures I can do in different species and all that to do and catch and learn about. So I'm just taking you along on my ride with that. So I'm like a little kid. I feel like there's so many things that are new and are fun. You know, I'm going to be going on a steelhead trip over in Muskegon soon. I'll document that. So just a bunch of different stuff. And I'm just glad you're coming along on the journey. Really, really appreciate the time that you take to watch these videos. Means a lot. Means a lot to my son Jaden, and I hope they help. God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.